So in Hawaii, we have termites. How does that affect your purchase of a property? We're gonna talk about that up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? Dylan Nonaka here with the Buy Big Island video blog, and today we're talking about termites and how termites affect the purchase of a property and things that you need to know in that process and how it's handled in the contract. So the first thing is in Hawaii, it's not a matter of if you have termites, it's a matter of when you have termites, because eventually you're going to get them. They're everywhere, and they affect houses that are older more because they weren't using treated lumber back then. But in every purchase contract, you have to address termites, and most of the time, especially if there's a loan involved, you are going to address termites and have a termite inspection done, because a lender is going to require that they get a clean termite report before they will close on the house. That's always a condition of the loan. So basically, termites are addressed in section L of the purchase contract. And basically what that section says is that there will be a termite inspection done. It addresses by when. Usually it's from a certain number of days from closing, and you're going to want that probably 2 to 3 weeks out at minimum in order to give you enough time to get it done, turned into the lender, and then allow them to finish the loan and get that approved. And then the other thing that addresses is who will do it, and most of the time the buyer gets to choose who the company is that will conduct the termite inspection. It has to be a licensed pest control operator in the state. And then also addresses who will pay for it, which normally is the seller who will pay for the cost of the termite inspection, which normally runs about $250. Some companies do it for less, some companies do it for a little bit more, and also depends on where on the island it is. Sometimes if you're out in a more rural area, they charge you a little bit more to go out there. So you may want to shop around for it, but we can always recommend a great company to you. There's lots of companies that we work with all the time that do a very good job, and we can help you out with that if you're not familiar with which company to go with. So that's how the contract handles that. Once the termite inspection happens, if there is an infestation, the contract addresses that also, and that is also normally customarily a seller cost. Everything is negotiable in a contract. If the seller's in a situation where maybe they can't pay for it, or it's pre-foreclosure, or if it's a bank-owned property, a lot of times banks will not pay for that, and the seller can elect to cover that cost if needed. So that has to be addressed also, is who's going to pay for it. Treatment can range from very minimal cost, if maybe a door has to be removed, or maybe some trim needs to be replaced because there's a small termite infestation that can cost a couple $100. Or it can run into the thousands if you actually need to tent the whole entire house. So if you have a bigger infestation and a tenting is required, that depends. The cost depends on the size of the home, because they got to put a big, circus tent over the house and pump the gas in to kill all the termites. So it really depends on the situation. The termite inspector will recommend treatment, and then you'll have to deal with that at that point if you're on the seller side. Some of the situations where you may not need a termite inspection is if it's a new build, but still sometimes loans will require that. And then sometimes sellers have done their normal termite treatment maintenance, and a year ago they got a tenting done, and they have a warranty that's good for some time into the future, and they can provide that to the buyer as proof that the house is clean from termites. And a lot of times the company that has done the tenting will come out and do a re-inspection and provide a clean termite report if that's required. So you may not always have to do one, depending on what the situation is. And a lot of times we know when you go into a house, if you can tell what termite droppings are if you're familiar with them. And a lot of times without a termite inspection whether or not you have termites. It's just a matter of what you're going to have to do to remedy that situation. And it's not a deal breaker. Again, lots of homes get termites in Hawaii. If they're taken care of quickly, they don't really cause any major structural damage. If it's an old home that's been totally infested for a long time, you may have some issues, but you really want to take it on a case-by-case basis and not overreact to a small infestation that can be taken care of pretty easily. So termite inspections always are dealt with. It's a part of the contract. Every structure that we sell, even condominiums that need to have a termite inspection, and it needs to be addressed. If it's an exterior thing in a condominium, that'll be taken care of by the HOA, but if it's inside, that treatment has to happen by the seller. So don't worry too much about termites, but it's just a fact of life here in Hawaii. Like a lot of other things that we have here. There's a way to deal with them. We have that taken care of in the contract, and we'll get you through it when the time comes. So if you have any questions, let me know. Leave me a comment below. I'll answer it. Email is dylan@buybigisland.com if you want to email me. And again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Aloha.